Hello and welcome to Stuff Every Queer Kid Should Know, a survival guide for late adolescence, but also Virginia. I'm Max Emerson, a writer and performer leveraging social media to create independent narratives. Similar to my other endeavors, this podcast is designed to provide a vital resource, role models, and tools that enhance your well-being, foster connections, and support personal growth from late adolescence onwards. Welcome back to another episode. Today's guest is Kyle Krieger, here to speak about burnout. Some of you may recognize Kyle as my former fake boyfriend from 8 years ago. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Kyle Krieger is a men's health and grooming expert based in Los Angeles. Kyle began his career in the beauty industry, quickly climbing the ranks to become a successful hair celebrity stylist. He parlayed that knowledge to his audience of over 2 million followers online through Instagram posts and YouTube videos. Across Kyle's social media platforms, he gives advice on styling for men, all with a sense of humor while spreading messages of self-love.
A comedian.
He is a major advocate for LGBTQ causes and organizations. Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for asking me to come.
As with any new guest, I've prepared a rapid-fire series of questions for the audience to get to know you better in a segment called Who the Hell Are You?
Okay, hit me.
All right.
Hit me.
Name?
Kyle Krieger. Kyle Johnson Krieger. I never say my middle name.
Oh, nice. Missed opportunity. Zodiac sign?
I'm a Gemini.
What are you an expert in? What are we talking about today?
I'm an expert in, I guess, creating digital media.
Counts. How do you identify on the gender and sexuality spectrum today?
I am gay with a hard G.
What is your most favorite animal?
I would say, since I was a kid, a killer whale.
No way. That's Andres' primal zodiac animal.
Oh, yeah?
Least favorite animal?
Oh God, least favorite. I would say, oh my gosh, I don't know. Something that's like creepy crawly, maybe.
Okay, something in the insect family.
Yeah.
What is the last thing you ate?
Greek yogurt with berries.
How many caffeinated drinks do you drink per day?
I probably have 2 cold brews. Okay. So 2, yeah. But maybe there's like more than 2, 1 cup in there.
Yeah,
so
they
like
count.
4
They
cups
usually
total.
count for double.
Yeah.
What is your beverage of choice across all beverages?
Ginger ale.
Biggest pet peeve?
Loud noises.
Dream vacation destination?
A European tour with my boyfriend.
Favorite sport or game?
I played soccer my whole life, and I guess that or tennis is one of my favorite sports.
I like soccer. You taught your sister everything she knows.
Yeah, I did, yes.
What is your favorite thing about queer bars?
Not being there.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a virtual hellscape and 10 being a fabulous utopia, how are things looking for queer people in America right now?
I mean, it feels like we're living in hell all the time.
Okay, so teetering on.
I mean, I just feel like, and it's also an election year, so, I just knew even in January coming into this year, I was like, this is going to be a hellish year.
Okay.
But
so we're looking downwards at the moment.
I generally feel like, yes. Is that pessimistic? Sorry.
Well, when you gaze into the abyss gazes back into the... What is the last item that you misplaced?
My wallet.
Where was it?
In my car. And it has an air tag. And I still couldn't find it.
What is the last thing you were super mad about?
My sister's ex-wife cheated on her and got out of their marriage and into a new relationship, and it made me furious.
Wow.
I talk about it in therapy every week.
That explains your fight me question. What is the last thing that made you cry?
Wow. Good question. When my dad died in March, that was probably the last time I cried.
Okay.
Actually, when he died, I was very numb. I didn't really cry much, but at his funeral in May, I cried a lot.
Yeah, they hit late, huh?
Yeah, it just feels like I was like numb for a while, and then when you're there, it was like, oh, it's here.
Speaking of difficult experiences, what is the location of the worst date you've ever had?
Probably the person's house who showed up to a catfish.
Their place. Okay.
Yeah.
Most prized possession?
Oh gosh. Most prized possession. I'm sorry.
Does it have 4 legs and a tail? I know it's not technically.
Yeah, I guess I was going to say, I was thinking Littlefoot, but Yeah, I guess my Great Dane Littlefoot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good name. Hey guys, let's talk about leveling up your wellness game with Black Lotus Shilajit. If you haven't heard of Shilajit, it's an ancient natural substance found in mountain rocks that's packed with over 80 minerals. It's known for boosting energy, stamina, and overall well-being, and Black Lotus offers it in its purest, rawest form. Unlike other brands, Black Lotus sources their Shilajit from pristine Altai mountains, not the polluted Himalayas, so you're getting a clean, powerful product that's perfect for your body. Their Shilajit is processed with only water and dried in the sun, no chemicals, no shortcuts, plus it's packed with premium Miran glass bottles, not plastic, so it stays fresh and potent. And for all of you eco-conscious people out there, they use sustainable packaging and even source their honey from ethical local beekeepers. They do full lab testing for metals and mold, and everything is packed by their own team, no third parties involved. You're getting top quality, undiluted Shilajit at every step. The best part, it's super affordable. A lot of Shilajit companies are out here charging way too much for watered-down, low-quality products, but Black Lotus keeps it real. You get premium, effective Shilajit without breaking the bank. And they've been in the holistic health game for over 20 years, so they know what they're doing. Right now, use code MAX for 15% off your first order at blacklotusshilajit.com. Shilajit is spelled Shilajit. You can go to the link in the show notes as well. You're going to want this in your routine. Stuff Every Queer Kid Should Know is brought to you by Max Emerson's Patreon. Do you ever feel like daily Instagram updates from your favorite influencers just aren't enough? Are you curious what the VIP section of social media is like? Well, buckle up, because Max Emerson's Patreon page is here to rescue you from the mundane. Get ready for exclusive access to Max's wild adventures, behind-the-scenes shenanigans, and a smorgasbord of engaging content that you won't find anywhere else. From sneak peeks to surprise gifts to mentions in the credits of videos and podcasts, Max's Patreon is the ultimate way to support independent queer storytelling. So what are you waiting for? Join today and let's make the internet a little more colorful, one Patreon pledge at a time. Patreon.com/Maxisms. We're going to keep getting to know Kyle. What initially drew you to content creation, and how did you find your niche within the queer community and kind of in mental health advocacy as well?
I actually was a hairstylist in Beverly Hills, and one of my clients was a big YouTuber at the time. And like you said earlier, a celebrity hairstylist. No, I'm just kidding. But his name's Tyler Oakley, and he came in for a haircut, and he was like, you would be so great at video. And I just was like thinking, he was like, you're so great on, for like on Instagram with like taking photos. And I know that you're really into having a camera. I really feel like you could carve out a grooming space on YouTube. Like there's not that much men's grooming and men's lifestyle.
They wouldn't call it a grooming space nowadays, but I understand what you're saying. Yes, what a great mentor to have.
Yeah.
Tyler Oakley is like the
jackpot. Yeah. He was so giving, took me to lunch, like gave me all the insights. He helped me with his team. He hooked me up with his manager. I then got an agent. He was really the catalyst to my whole like online career. And yeah, I just kind of fell in love with making videos every week. And of course, then, financially, once you like kind of dive in, you're making videos, then sponsorships would come. And I feel like it's like set me on a new path from where I was, which was just being in the salon doing hair. And it really opened up like a whole new direction for me that I'm still on, I guess.
It's fantastic. So most people know you as your career starting as a celebrity hairstylist before transitioning into broader men's grooming and health in general. What inspired that shift of moving away from hair, and how did your background in beauty influence that work?
I guess financially it just didn't make sense anymore to be doing like, $150 haircuts every hour and making 50% of that at a salon every day, when then I could do something which I was much more passionate about, like creating video or photo, and then every month or so getting like a few sponsorships deals that were 10 times what I was making.
But what was the transition from specifically beauty to other outlets? Like you've done travel stuff with me, you do a lot of mental health advocacy. What kind of motivated that shift for you?
Well, I guess just like maybe more so of like what I would have wanted as a kid to see, you know, like, and sometimes I roll my eyes when people say that, but, or like, I want to be the person that I needed when I was younger, you know, like that type of thing. But it's like kind of an eye roll, but it is generally, maybe what I would have loved to see as a kid online, like, you know, someone gay or queer doing these things and having almost like a possibility model. It's also things that I really love. And I was just like, when I was in high school, my guidance counselor told, you know, I was in high school and she was asking me like what I wanted to go to college for. And she said, and I was like, oh, I want to be a marine biologist. And she was like,
didn't we all?
And she was like, well, you're not going to make any money doing that. So you should focus on something that you're going to make money doing. And I remember like that, and I specifically went into biology because of that exact reason. But now, 20, 30 years later, it's like we couldn't even really see that the internet was going to exist and that you can make money doing anything, things that you like to do. Like if you love marine biology, you could start a TikTok account about marine biology and have like deals and stuff. Like you could do anything. But so I feel like I started to like be inspired by that idea and just start to create things what I love. And then hopefully you can make money doing it, which I have since I was 25. So just going to keep going, I guess.
That's fantastic. And similarly to how Tyler probably just really encouraged you when I'm sure at first when he came up to you and said, you should do this, I know for sure, because everyone does this, you demurred and you're like, no, I can't do that. What do you tell to someone who maybe wants to do something in this space, but is struggling with self-esteem or self-image?
Well, I never had that problem because I love the attention. I definitely feel like my first couple, I had a really good friend, my friend Daniel Sung Lee, who was really just almost like a coach, and he's a photographer, and he was like, and he like loves YouTube, so he was like, yes, let's do it. We're gonna get a camera, and we're gonna figure out the mic, and you know, you're just like winging it. I had no idea what I was doing. Sorry, can you repeat? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, what sort of advice would you have to someone who maybe doesn't think that they can do it?
Oh, got it.
Like if it's too daunting or they don't think they're good enough. Like, is there anything you can offer to someone to maybe encourage them to take that leap?
Right, that's what I was thinking about Daniel. Is I surrounded myself with people who were better than me at things that I wanted to do. Right, so like same thing as like if you're a director on a set. Like if I'm an inexperienced director, like I just graduated film school a couple years ago. I mean, I make my own stuff, but I try to surround myself with people who have a much more elevated aesthetic, or they're much more talented, more experienced. And so if you're looking to get into something, like creating, I would surround yourself with people who are, I feel like you're the average of your 5 closest friends, and the same thing with work. And so if you surround yourself with people that are doing great things and, hopefully it like rubs off on them, they're willing to help you. Like it's about creating a team, I think.
I always say that about playing tennis. If I play with someone who's better than me, I play amazing.
Oh yeah.
But if I'm giving a lesson, I play like garbage. But back to the thing you said about being a director and surrounding yourself with an experienced team. Have you ever heard the joke, how many first-time directors does it take to change a light bulb?
No, I haven't.
The answer is, I don't know. What do you think?
That's really good.
Who made the producers?
That is very me. Like when I was on, every time I'm on set with like, for example, like with OnlyFans creation, with my DP will be there, and I'll just be like, always asking, like,
trust the chef,
like how is this shot? Like, should we do it again? But all of these different angles and stuff. So, yeah, I agree that makes sense.
Well, if you do that, then you definitely need a good either line producer or producer who will be like, hey guys, timeline.
Oh yeah,
timeline. Because otherwise, like me and a photographer can just go all day trying different lights and angles. In the initial stages of doing this, I feel like there's a lot of excitement. And I think you were very fortunate in that you gained a lot of momentum relatively quickly.
In creating
content and getting the attention and seeing some payoff. But inevitably for every creator at some point, there's a lull and you start kind of questioning it and burnout sets in. How do you ensure that your creative projects remain sustainable in the long term? Do you have any particular strategy for dealing with that?
Well, I do feel like the burnout is very real. I feel like very often in my career, I'll go through stages of feeling like my tank is empty and like I just don't have anything else to give. I mean, especially in sex work too, like your tank is literally
There's literally
empty.
a tank there. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, but more so like with, with more like PG content creation on like mainstream stuff. I think it's really about just like not beating yourself up, about taking breaks, which I find to be very challenging. Like I am so hard on myself, and so like therapy helps a lot. Like when I'm in therapy talking about work and stuff, processing, like self-esteem issues when it comes to just reminding yourself that you're good enough and doing that work, and you don't necessarily need to please or push yourself in ways that makes you uncomfortable just to like get money and get work. And I know living in abundance sort of as well. I feel like knowing, because sometimes the burnout will be fueled by a gig economy and like and freelance, and am I going to make enough money to live?
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll just try to remember that I have a roof over my head. I can make rent this month. I got food in my stomach. I have like some money in my bank account. Like all my necessities are taken care of. I don't need to like exhaust myself to just like to feel more comfortable like with my bank account.
There's always enough.
Yeah, like
The scarcity mindset is, I find it crippling.
Yeah, totally. And it's really, and I totally get that it's easy to fall into, and I fall into it all the time as well. And because sometimes if I put my my comfort level and my my stability in something that's always fluctuating, like money, like my bank account, and I'm like, oh, I'll be good when I have this much money. Then since it's always fluctuating, I never feel grounded. But if I put my, my like faith in stuff that is more grounding, like friendships, therapy, the ability to do work, just like feeling more on the ground, I generally feel like I feel much more stable and less burned out, because I'm not worried about just like money going after. Because that's usually the fuel that I feel like burns.
So it's about establishing where you feel your support and safety coming from.
Yeah, and also like, and I totally get that there's other motives for burnout as well, like whether people want to be, they want more of a following or more recognition or
God, that's an uphill battle,
more
isn't
eyes.
it?
Yeah, like
was that you who said that the social media is like the locker room? There's always one bigger.
No, but that's very true. No, I did not say that.
It's like a yacht club expression too, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it really is just about learning how to be just happy with where you are, and I feel like that is like one of those lifelong journeys that maybe is always fluctuating as well. That's not something that you can just get, and like once you have it, it's going to stay there forever. I feel like it's always sort of moving. And yeah, so the burnout is very real, and it also is something that I'm like always managing and trying to be easy on myself about.
If you're like me, you want to fuel your body with the best possible ingredients, whether you're working out, staying active, or just looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle. That's why I'm excited to share with you Puori's whey protein. It's not just any protein powder, it's a game changer. Puori's whey protein is sourced from grass-fed cows, ensuring that you're getting a clean, pure, and high-quality protein. What sets this protein powder apart is its simplicity and commitment to quality. There are no artificial sweeteners, fillers, or unnecessary additives, just pure protein goodness with a delicious natural bourbon vanilla flavor. Plus, it's sweetened with organic coconut sugar, so it tastes amazing without all the junk. Whether you're mixing it into your morning smoothies or shaking it up post-workout, Puori protein powder delivers 21 grams of protein per serving, helping to support muscle recovery, energy levels, and overall wellness. And for those of us who care about where our food comes from, it's great to know that Puori's whey is certified by the Clean Label Project, ensuring it's free from harmful contaminants like heavy metals and pesticides. Ready to elevate your protein game? Head over to Puori.com and use my promo code MAXEMERSON. That's Puori.com/MaxEmerson. Don't mess out. Head to Puori.com/MaxEmerson and use promo code MaxEmerson today. Ever wonder how your daily habits like your meals, sleep, or stress impact your health? Nutrisense offers a way to take the guesswork out of the wellness journey. For many people, managing health can feel like a shot in the dark. They're trying different diets, workouts, and routines, but without the right information, it's hard to know what's truly working. That is where Nutrisense comes in. Nutrisense isn't just another health trend. It's a comprehensive program that pairs real-time data from a continuous glucose monitor with one-on-one personalized coaching from expert nutritionists. This combination helps users understand how their bodies respond to food, exercise, sleep, and stress, giving them the insights they need to make informed decisions about their health. What sets Nutrisense apart is its unique approach to personalized health. While other programs might offer generic advice, Nutrisense tailors its advice based on your unique data. With the support of a board-certified nutritionist, users can receive customized recommendations that align with their specific health goals, making it easier to achieve lasting results. If you're ready to take control of your health, visit nutrisense.io/MaxEmerson to get $50 off your first month. That is nutrisense.io/MaxEmerson. Or you can click on the link in the notes and use my special code, MaxEmerson, for an exclusive $50 discount. Take the first step towards better health with Nutrisense today. So do you have any routines or practices that help you manage that and keep you grounded in the moment and in, the IRL space? I mean, you said therapy is one, which I think is a great ritual.
Therapy is a tool that I use every week. Every Sunday morning, I check in with him about, like normal life stuff. And like when I'm processing, like I said earlier, like my dad's death or my sister's divorce or, my friendships, my relationship, but also staying grounded in that way is something that I, just like really appreciate and benefit from. Another thing is my sobriety. So like staying sober, it's been 17 years now, but
congratulations.
Thank you. Going to 12-step meetings, having a solid foundation with friends.
Well, those meetings are full of rituals. I mean, I think I've been to a couple supporting friends and I could count maybe like 7 or 8 different rituals every single meeting in like an hour and a half.
There's a lot. I mean, just, you learn, I feel like I wish more people went to 12-step meetings, like even that didn't necessarily need recovery from substance abuse, because there are so many tools there that I apply to my everyday life that I would find beneficial, even not as an addict, just as like, I don't even know, just like good orderly direction, which was like, getting out of the bed in the morning, making your bed, like just like very like normal like tasks that really set your day and start your day off right.
Well, it's normalizing healthy things in a group environment rather than having a friend group that say parties all the time and then it's like you all technically drink as much as like the alcoholism level. But because everyone does it, it feels normal. Whereas you're actually in the top 3% of drinkers, you're just surrounded by this. So it provides kind of a community and framework that sort of has different priorities, maybe.
But I feel like it allows me just to show up in ways when I come to work that just leads to like a more healthy work experience, right? And so burnout is less likely, even though it definitely still happens. I feel like it happens less frequently.
I think a big part of what you do, I mean, I've only really fully experienced burnout through my partner who was working full-time as a cost management consultant during COVID. So it was no longer in person and they just really stopped respecting those boundaries between work and life. And that was kind of my experience with seeing it. And for him in particular, it was about not having agency and ownership over his work, not feeling appreciated for it, not necessarily the amount of work itself. Because I can work all day, but it's for me.
Yeah,
and it's for something that I have chosen to do. And I feel like that tends to be helpful. And that's really hard for people, I feel like, that have full-time jobs and other responsibilities to maintain.
And not getting necessarily the recognition that you feel like they're like grinding every day, but then not really feeling like people are appreciating them.
Yeah, there's nothing to refill that cup. Like he used to commute to San Francisco and that was fun. Like he would be around a lot of people. They would pay for everything when he was there. So I'd come up and visit and we'd have fun little SF dates, but then like all of those kind of refill points slowly disappeared and never came back.
Yeah.
So that's a really good take.
Yeah, Oprah, I feel like that's like something that Oprah said is such a long time ago when she said, when she talked about like filling up your cup and then everything that overflows is for everyone else. But if you're operating from a cup that's 50% or 75%, then you still have to give to others, like, in your relationship or your friendships or whatever, like, it's just you're going to be depleted, so it's, finding out things in your life that fill up your cup in a way that you can also bring to the table like 100% and give to others. Like, so I'm saying like therapy, friendships, sobriety, like those type of things like fill up my cup.
I believe politicians corrupted that sentiment in the 80s with trickle-down economics. They tried to like corrupt that Oprah wisdom.
And
taint it.
Well, we see how well that went.
But it really does work in an emotional capacity, for sure.
I think so, yeah.
You can't take care of anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself.
Right. And I feel like, those type of things that we hear in, social settings all the time. But in this sense, I do really feel like it is very impactful. Like, but it's something I'm just not always thinking about that. But when I sit down to process and think about it, then it definitely comes up like in therapy or something.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back to creative projects and making those. There's always limitations, whether you're a high school student trying to make home movies or someone with seemingly unlimited budget or you're getting your money from a sponsor. How have you dealt with limitations over the years? And then how does that influence whether or not a creative project is worth pursuing?
I'm trying to think of my limitations. Like,
well, let's talk about before you started crowdsourcing through OnlyFans. Back when you did not have a monthly subscription that was just this slush fund to do whatever you wanted with. How were you navigating your limitations against wanting to be an independent filmmaker, directing school, paying for the education, paying for the projects? Because that really is a trust fund kid job.
I mean, I was grinding. Like, well, I think it's one of the best things about like getting older is you realize that you grind when you have the energy to do it. Like if I always had to grind now at 40, I would in no way be where I am at. But like the gift of youth and like the energy that I had at 25 and 30 and 35, I was willing to I was working in the hair salon 4 days a week, doing like 10 clients a day, exhausted. Then the other 3 days of the week were my weekend, but then I would do my passion project like on the weekend, which was like making YouTube videos. So I would then have to come up with a concept, shoot the video, and edit the video all by the next week when I started work again for 10 hours a day or whenever, like 10 clients a day.
I gave up on YouTube a couple of years ago for that exact reason. And I didn't have a full-time job.
Yeah. It's so like, you're really like the limitations are time, right? And money, I guess. And I always feel like I was a one-person operation for so long, just like, I feel like when I had the obstacle of like time, like a schedule really helped. And even though it doesn't really feel like, because when you're freelance, like even now, I feel like I have a really hard time with creating, like no one's holding you accountable to work. So like you really have to be driven in order to do it.
Yeah, and if you stop, everything you're working on dies. There's no one pushing it forward.
And that's like a limitation for me too, is like how much drive and inspiration and motivation I have, like self-motivated to actually get the work done. So I feel like scheduling really helps is like one tool that I use. I actually just recently had a meeting this week about even scheduling my like OnlyFans like right now because like there's different limitations with sex stuff, but
we're gonna get to that part. Don't worry.
But I do feel like that's one tool that I find.
I've always been a chronic list maker. And it's okay if I don't get through the list. I'll just cross it out and put it on the next list. And like hopefully, I'll assess over a month if the same item's been on each list. But for me, it's always been really, really helpful. Whereas for Andres, who I think has more pronounced ADHD than me, it's like the Post-it thing. Like the Post-it thing doesn't work because a day after the Post-it's been up, it becomes invisible.
Yeah, that's funny. I actually just started, like, I feel like I relate to like ADHD symptoms. And just this year, I started like a small medication that's not like, it's maybe more for sober people that doesn't have like the more, like not like the...
ginseng or something?
No, it's funny. It's called something else, but it doesn't have like the, what's it called? Like when like a sober person probably wouldn't take it. It's like almost like a stimulant.
Adderall.
In a way. Yeah. And even though it finds very beneficial, I feel like it's really helped me with my limitations when it comes to just like doing anything but work. Like I have work to do, but my house, I'll just be like, I need to clean.
Oh, that's my favorite procrastination
I need to go
tactic.
to the grocery store, or I should go on a walk with my dog.
Well, you have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah, and like I literally will talk myself out of work to do literally anything else.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've always done that. So it's
I don't know. I can't work if my space isn't clean.
Right,
might be a Virgo thing. It's different for everybody. Whatever you like personally works for you. But it seems like we have very different kind of ways of keeping ourselves on track. And I'm really glad we're able to have that conversation. Yeah. So wait, how do you assess whether one of your ideas or a project someone's coming to you with is worth pursuing? Like, how does it get on the list in the first place?
I think that's, I guess I don't really think about that. What comes to my head right away is like a gut check.
So it's intuitive?
Like, I think it's more so of like, well, it depends. If it's like a sponsorship job,
Yep.
I have been known to, early on, to take any gig. Just because I was like, I'll make this work.
Yeah.
Like a toilet paper company one time wanted to do a video during the pandemic. And I was like, like we should probably hold off on this.
Just you like rolling around in excess toilet paper
Like
while
it was
everybody's
so,
out of
but
toilet paper.
it was actually a douching video. They wanted to do like a sex positive like douching video, but like
That does
utilize
save toilet paper,
Cottonelle.
doesn't
Utilize the company, but the product anyway. So there are some that like when it comes, yeah, like we definitely pushed it, but anyway, sorry.
What makes you decide whether or not something's worth doing?
So sometimes like it'll just be like financially I need to take this gig. It's like a money job and then passion job. So like if I do the money jobs, sometimes they align with how I am, and sometimes I sort of have to like force it a little and like pick an angle that's like, oh, this will work, and be aligned with sort of what I'm posting about. And then that will fund like my passion jobs, which will be like making YouTube videos, allows me to pay my rent and do all these things so that I can make YouTube videos about travel or like a book of travel.
Loop because you're doing something you're excited about. The brands want to be a part of that.
Totally.
So how do you approach the LGBTQ plus topics in your content? What do you hope to achieve through your advocacy work, and how do you measure its impact, since we're talking about passion projects?
I just love queer people, and I like just dislike straights so much that I mean, not like I'm saying it more in a playful way.
No, the straights are cringe. It's okay.
But I like my manager straight. Like I love straight women, I guess, but straight better.
Some of your best friends are straight.
Yeah. So anyway, but I just feel like my queer advocacy is inspired by like our little group. Like I just love that we, like when you walk into a room and it's full of straights and there's one other gay person there and you can just like look across the room, and even if you don't know them, it just feels like there's a connection that you
or even if
know
they
that
become your arch nemesis, it's like it's still a game you're playing.
But you're just still not alone in a sense. And there's just something about, in any sort of combative situation, any sort of uncomfortable situation, if there's another queer person there and I'm not alone, I just feel like you automatically team up. And like, I don't know, I've always felt like very connected and like always wanted to just like revel in the idea that we have like a little insular group that we can just take care of each other, which I know that we do eat each other alive online. Yeah. At times. However,
once we become too large of a group.
We want pick and choose.
It's like the theater,
who can stay.
The theater kid thing. It's like, yes, I found a home. Where's my nemesis? Like, let's get this storyline started.
But so my advocacy is based around that. Just like, what can I do to make us feel more together?
Seen, included. Yeah. Can you share any memorable pieces of interactions you've had, feedback you've received from audience members that has kind of impacted your approach to your content?
I do feel like now that I'm, whenever I get people to come up to me on the street or, even in my DMs or, people will come up at like my sister's games is like a big place where people come, because I feel like I have a lot of like lesbian followers, I think, because they also love my sister, and they will come up.
Krieger's sister is a former legend soccer player.
Yeah. And so, at games, it's like a big time where people would come up to me, because it's almost like the second best thing, maybe. If you can't get Allie, you can like still tell me that you like Allie or something.
By proxy.
Yeah. So I do feel like the feedback that I get the most is, just people being very grateful for like video stuff. Like, I feel like I always thought it would be Instagram that people would be like, oh, and every now and then people are like, I love your stuff. I love your photos. But videos, when you're like, I realized that when people are at home in their bed, on their laptop, watching you in a very intimate setting of just like you and them, and you're talking to them like a YouTuber would, it just creates a connection that people really are drawn to. And so people will come up to you on the street and just say like, thank you so much for making this certain video. And like, they'll know it, like they'll know the exact video and be like, this, I love when people are like, well, this happens all the time. They're like, you really helped me come out of the closet. Or like seeing you live your life on
That's
YouTube.
weird when you're hitting on someone and they say that to you. You're like, oh, I feel old.
Yeah. But people would come up and just say like, you were such a big part of my coming out. Or like I was on the AIDS life cycle bike ride this year and someone came up to me and was like, the reason why I had told my parents that I was gay was that like I saw this video that you were, talking about coming out and your story, and it just inspired me to do that. And like those type of moments are just so special that they like make it really all worth it. And you almost can't in that moment express the gratitude because it's a little bit like, it's usually quick and like a little awkward. But after, like I walk away feeling like, it just makes me, I'm like, this is like just so nice,
Yeah, I agree. It's very rewarding. Except there is that time every so often that will happen when someone is very lovely and comes up and expresses, their gratitude, affection, closeness, whatever it is. And then they ask for a photo, but then they just can't get the photo right. And you can tell that they're just like milking it to like take up all of your time.
Oh, that's funny. I haven't had that experience, but no, I don't think. I mean, usually it's just like
they'll like look at it and be like, "Oh, it's not good. Let's retake it." You're like, dude.
Oh no, they
I'm
have.
trying to hang out with my friends.
I feel like in my experience, they have the camera like all
ready.
Yeah, ready, and like so, and they won't have the words to say it yet. So I'll be like, "Dude, want to take a photo?" But it also feels embarrassing. And then I want them one time. I'm sure someone's gonna be like, "No, I just have my phone open." Like just that would be funny too. But yeah, I haven't had that experience. But
just walking right into a bear trap with that. Yeah. I met Bill Nye once at YouTube Spaces back when those were a thing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I had you shoot with us at YouTube once. We were doing drag babies. I think we wanted you for it. But I
remember that, yeah, with Johnny and them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had YouTube Spaces for 3 or 5 days or something, and Bill Nye was shooting something for the show he was rebooting at the time, and I needed a picture, and he was such a pro at it.
Oh, really?
He snatched my phone. He's like, look at the camera, don't look at me, look at the camera, don't look at me. All right, smile, smile, there you go. There's 4 on there, have a great day. I was like,
that's great.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I do like that efficiency. I mean, my sister is similar to that too. Like when it happens all the time, it's just like you want to just like get it, move along, And I do feel like it's important to like sometimes I generally feel like I'm pretty kind and like happy, but every now and then someone will catch you on like a bad day, and I have to like really turn it on because I also feel like word of mouth. Like it just takes one tweet for someone to be like, "Oh, I met Kyle and he's such an asshole." But he just meet you on like the worst day or whatever.
It travels 20 times faster than any positive.
Yeah, so I'm always just like, I try to be kind anyway.
I remember that you did my hair one time before we went on a trip.
Oh, in New York?
And yeah, we were in New York. I mean, granted, it was like right after Pulse had happened. So we were all just in kind of a shit mood. But you were expressing how people who would be fans would come to LA or New York to get a haircut with you. Yeah. And like, it's your job. You're just trying to chill and do your job sometimes, but they're expecting this like happy, bubbly YouTube personality. And it's like, well, that's kind of like expecting an OnlyFans creator to be hard when you meet them. Yeah. Like, chill. Oh my God. It's hard to manage those expectations.
Max, that is like...
Was that too far?
No. It's so... When people would come get a haircut, like, and I'm
so they were trembling in the chair.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're excited.
So sweet.
That is all so lovely and sweet. But like, I am such a perfectionist about my work that they would want, like, I'd want them to walk out with a beautiful haircut because I know they're going to take a photo of it and I know they're going to talk about it and whatever. And I don't want it to be a mess. But if they want also me to talk the whole time,
that's 2 jobs. Then
I can't give them a nice haircut. If like, I'll tell them, if you want a beautiful haircut, we need to be silent. If you want an okay haircut, then we can talk.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I can't do both.
You manage the expectations.
And so they're like, yeah, I'm just happy to be here. Like we can, you can do your thing and we can talk after. And like I love that. But and generally, like I'm not like silent, but I'm just like focused on the job.
Yeah.
But when it's when fans come in, it's a little nerve-wracking. Yeah.
Well, speaking of focusing on the job,
okay,
we're gonna get to the thing you've all been waiting for. We're gonna talk about OnlyFans.
Oh, great. Okay.
How does having creative control on OnlyFans compared to other platforms or projects that you've worked on? What aspects of specifically this freedom do you find more fulfilling or most fulfilling?
I would say by making the switch, you definitely forfeit, brands being interested in working with you. I do feel like there's a stigma around sex work or people that do OnlyFans creation, that brands are sort of like, I don't know if we're necessarily there.
Right.
In my experience, I've still had brands want to work with me this past year, and I've done brand deals, and they don't really care at all. And it's been like huge deals that I was like a 6-month long, like it's been great. But I do feel like you'd kind of forfeit that. And
well, they have to have budget now because they know that you don't need it.
yeah. But I would say, like, having the freedom to create, like once you sort of realize that this is going to be pretty much your source of income.
Right.
If you do what I do for work, you realize if you kind of give up this, then you're going to need to like dive in.
There is a cost to it. There's a forfeiture of it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like every day I get a message from someone being like, OnlyFans when? And it's like, for me, it doesn't work in the same way because like I like my acting auditions and I like all these things where the doors would close if I were to do OnlyFans. So I'm delaying that payment so that I can still have these fun lottery tickets and opportunities. But what was it that made you finally just dive in and say, you know what, this is what I want to do. I know that I want to commit to this. Because I think a lot of people out there kind of ask themselves a similar version of that question, whether it's OnlyFans or just taking another job opportunity that will take all their time.
Yeah. I do really feel like it comes down to the freedom. Like what you're like the previous question, just being able to create whatever I want to create and not be beholden to brands and what they want to create. Like, for example, I'll pitch a brand a whole idea and they'll come back and it will be
butchered,
totally torn apart, and all of the good is gone.
Pizza with tacos
and
on
I'm
it.
like, what is the deal here? And so like then I would have to like then respond and give feedback on that, and like it just dilutes the whole experience. And it's almost like when like a studio doesn't trust the director to make something great, so then it turns out to be like something like kind of good.
Well,
Or,
you have,
do you know what I
you have a
mean?
new client now. So now there's kind of an expectation to make it sexually explicit.
Yeah.
So as long as that's part of like what you want the content to do, then it's worthwhile, right?
Yeah, and also like the good thing about people of a subscription-based platform is that people that are subscribing are fans or are very interested in you, so they want to see what you want to put out. They trust that you're going to make something great because they like you and they follow you, and so it's almost like the audience already is set up to like sort of just enjoy and like watch what you want to make, and so it's so much more freeing to be like, to not necessarily have the control of the, of what a brand or what, some other entity is sort of trying to control the product that you're making. You're just free to do whatever you want. And the people who like it will stay, and the people who don't like it will come and leave. And you know what I mean? Not come
Take their screenshots. Yeah.
Yeah. Find them on those like terrible websites on the internet.
The soul-sucking blogs, yes.
I mean, I don't know what basement they run out. I wish they would burn that house down. But anyway, I do feel like the freedom is really what I find to be the most beneficial and like thing that really keeps me going. But I will say, but I do get burned out. Like it definitely
Even with
does
that,
happen.
the expectation of posting all the time, even though you're playing to a house full of your friends.
Oh my God.
It still just feels like giving and giving.
Oh yeah. And like it's constant. Yeah. But I do really love my work now. Well, that's a lie, I guess. Sorry. I do. It's a job.
It's just hard.
Yeah,
Anytime you're
it's
expected
work.
to work to make the money, it's going to be hard.
Work. And like it is work that I like, and it's work generally like it's a great job, and it's a very great living. It made me very comfortable financially, and it allows me to. It also introduced me to a lot of other things like learning like about like an LLC and like getting a business manager and like finance and like putting money away.
Because
and
now
like,
you have something to properly manage.
Yeah, like it's like like building a house. It gave me like I'm trying to get a permit to build this house that I got designed, and like it really enabled me to do so many things, But so that freedom and wanting to make the leap was really like I feel like one of the best decisions I made, and.
It sounds like it was really in line with your goals, and like any windows or doors that, at least for now, would be closing are not doors you were pursuing going through anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I was edging my following, I feel like, for 10 years. I mean, you were doing the same. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
no, we're all
it was
guilty of
almost sort of like they it kind of just made sense.
Yeah.
And it was exciting and new. And I feel like one of my biggest motives was wanting to remove stigma from sex and sex work, and really just being like a champion for people to maybe explore this type of work and be their own entrepreneur, and, you know, really like take their own life by their hands and the reins and give themselves like freedom as well, whether it be financial freedom, creative freedom.
I really love the way that you've approached it as well, just from the quality perspective. It's very clear that you're not just doing it because it's a quick money grab and you're going to cash out. It's clearly because you were tired of being constrained by certain things, whether it be an algorithm or financial or brands, guidebooks, or whatever it is. And like, there's still very clearly an artistry to what you're doing. And I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
The last question I have about OnlyFans before we move on to our final segment.
Okay.
How is it with boundaries now? With people following you online, with friends, working in the sex space, do people just feel like they have access to you in some capacity that may not be appropriate?
That is...
Because I think that's something to consider if
I
someone's
do.
looking
I
into
do. I
maybe
do
pursuing
feel like
this.
yes, I do feel like people haven't crossed any boundaries with me, but I do.
You are very intimidating in person. Just like, until you actually talk to you, and you're like, "Oh, he's the sweetest teddy bear in the world."
Funny.
But like you're like.
I guess I have like a
It's not a resting bitch face. You just are. It's the sleeves of tattoos and the muscles. It's like no one's trying anything.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I generally feel like people are good with me. However, one thing about doing sex or sex work or porn or whatever is people notice you now. Like I used to get, you know, of course, like people come up to you on the street every now and then, walking through West Hollywood or wherever, be like, "Oh, hey, I love your stuff," and like keep it moving, right?
Yeah.
Now these people are looking, like staring, like it's almost like maybe they don't know me, but they recognize me.
Like they've paid for the permission to just stare at you.
I don't like, or just it's not even like an uncomfortable stare, but they're just looking because they recognize me or they've seen me.
But they don't look away when you look their way anymore.
No, like it's much more like it is much more present that people know what I do for work. Like I don't know, like I always felt like.
Because I always know the rule is like you never know when someone's checking you out. You have to be hanging out with someone and they'll notice.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's checking you out. But now they just maintain the gaze.
Yeah, I mean but they don't normally say anything. Or sometimes like an older.
But they at least acknowledge you and like smile or something.
Yeah, totally.
Yes, okay,
totally.
it's not
and
just like this like.
No, like older adults, usually older adults will come up and say like, "I love your work," or like, "What you're doing is so great for the industry," or like, "You make beautiful stuff," or you know what I mean? But yeah, there's a lot of like looks now, which makes me a little bit like, oh God, everybody in this room has seen me naked, or like everybody in this room has seen me. That's actually very freeing
in its own right.
Yeah, I mean,
you probably don't get the nightmare.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is funny though, but to have everyone in there seeing you do the dirty, it's like, it's funny. Yeah, it makes me laugh. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. That was so nice.
Well, we're not done yet.
Okay, hit me.
As with every episode, I try to end on a high note with a segment called Fight Me. Kyle has selected from a list of controversial topics. He's going to let me know which one he's picked, and I'm going to argue the opposite side of whatever he's decided we're going to argue about. What have you picked?
I think we should talk about babies.
Babies. Okay. How do you feel about babies? And would you like to go first?
I'm an uncle. Yeah, I can go first. I'm an uncle, so I have a niece and nephew. And so I love them, but I generally hate.
Okay, so you're anti-baby. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm very
seconds.
like Chelsea Handler on this whole topic. Like I love the idea of like just having my dog, getting up in the morning, not having to worry anything. When I book travel, I can just kind of go wherever. I don't have to worry about finding a babysitter or whatever. I also think kids are just dirty and loud. Like they just nonstop yelling, always making noises. There's always like a high-pitched scream and like an inability to sort of talk. Of course, because they're babies, but I'm just like, you have to yell. So, and every time I'm in a conversation with someone at a restaurant and then there's a kid next to us, I can't focus on my conversation because the baby next to us is screaming or yelling or on the iPad or whatever. I'm just like, this is so stressful and annoying. And whenever someone has a baby on board on their car, I'm not going to drive more safe. I don't even want your kid to be in the world. So why would I drive more safe because you have a baby on board sticker? Like, it's just annoying that it's in there. Now I know that it's in there. Don't even get me started on a plane.
No, I just hate your car. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, on the plane, like, thank God you have headphones because you know, I mean, it's just chaos. But yeah, so I generally don't really like kids, and I don't necessarily feel like they're for me. I get that they're for other people, but we're already so populated as a world. Why do we need more of them? And whenever people say, like, you know, I'm so glad that like younger generations are waiting longer to have kids, or deciding maybe kids aren't for them because, you know, there's sort of some like societal like understanding that women should have to have kids and get in a family, some like Christian Judeo value thing that I just don't really believe in. And I think that women and young men should just be able to like follow their paths in their careers and not have to worry about populating the earth and like having kids and starting a family.
Right. Why does that have to be everybody's problem?
You could just have a dog.
Point.
What's it called? I feel like it's called something.
For a baby?
No, it's like when it's an acronym for something. 2 kids without a dog.
DINK.
Oh yeah.
Double income, no kids.
And then with a dog is WAD, DINK-WAD. Yeah, DINK-WAD. That's very me.
I love that. I think you made a very valid point.
It was very quick, but
no. I think you're good, but I'm going to counter that. Okay. I think your real problem is with toddlers.
Yeah.
Once they're not confined to a chair, those are the ones screaming the loudest because their vocal cords have developed. Babies are actually okay for the most part. Everyone I know that travels with a baby, it's just like this little lump. That's why they don't charge you extra to fly on a plane with them, because they're usually pretty much fine. I don't know who hurt you when you were a baby, and that's on you. And I understand that your experience is valid, and maybe a baby bit you one day with like his gums. You're right. Or maybe like people with children are just afraid of your tattoos or something. I think there's like a feedback loop happening because babies are okay. It's toddlers that are the problem. Fuck toddlers. Toddlers can just go to hell.
We need a slur for toddler.
I think it's toddler. So my plan, my partner and I are planning to adopt, which I agree, there are plenty of babies on this planet. If you want to do anything to save the environment, it's not go vegan, it's don't breed. But I'm hoping to like go get my pilot's license and go be a pilot or something for the toddler years, so I can just kind of like see you when you're 5. But
yeah,
I hear your perspective, and I think we're just going to have to agree to disagree. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. It was so lovely to see you, and I'm glad my ex-boyfriend and I can sit here happily and talk.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Stuff Every Queer Kid Should Know. This is a Wellness Loud production produced by Drake Peterson and Jake Wachtel. Additional production by Cass Falding and Chantilly Toison. The episode was recorded by Jason Siegel, Mun Singh, edited by Jesse Trout, and mixed by Mike Fry. Music by Tom Goss. If you like this show, don't forget to share it with your friends, subscribe on your preferred channel, or all of them, and give us a 5-star rating. It would be super, super helpful. Thank you so much to all my Patreon subscribers. You are credited in the show notes. Thank you for listening. See you next time.